Hello dudes, let's talk about Wii U, huh? Let's add a game. So we're gonna go to F1, hit F1 on the keyboard. It's gonna take us out to the File Explorer. I've already connected a portable hard drive with the content that I'm gonna install, and I've copied it from the portable hard drive to the shared drive. I've created a little folder over here called New Stuff, and inside that I have this going on, right? So here we've got an update. If you've got DLC, it's going to be a separate folder usually from this, right? So you got updates, you're going to have DLC, which I don't have for this one, and then the game. So we're going to copy the game. In this case, I'm going to cut and paste, go to ROMs, and we're going to put it inside here. We're going to paste it. Boom. So there we go. The game is in there now. And now, once that's there, we are now going to do this. We're going to go to Applications. We're going to load up this. Double click here. And here we go. All right. And that takes a second. Okay, so don't start double clicking stuff. Let it do its own thing. So now we're going to go to this. We're going to install a game update or DLC. Okay, so you just click on this guy. And now we're going to navigate to where we need to go. Okay, so it's in user data. And we're going to go to ROMs. And we're going to go over here to Wii U. And we're going to find that game. And Mario Party 10. There it is. We're going to open this. The folder you're looking for is the meta folder. So you double click there and then this right here. And you go open. And it's going to do this. Title is installed. Cool. So now that is on there. So now we're going to go install game title again. We're going to back up and we're going to go to our ROMs folder and we're going to go one more time, because remember I had that folder that I created called new stuff. Now the update stuff and DLC, once it's installed into the emulator, you can delete it, which is why I don't put it in the ROMs folder. I don't want to confuse any of that stuff. So again, you just double click here, go to the meta folder, boom, open. It's that fast. Sometimes it takes longer. Some of those games it'll take, I don't know, a minute or whatever to do it, and then hit OK. Okay, and now we are going to, let's see, we're going to go ahead and exit this one. Okay, I'm going to close the window. Now I'm going to game settings, update the game lists. Okay, so now we're going to have in here a game, and you notice that it's not automatically on here. Okay, so we're going to scroll down until we find something that is named something strange. Look at that. That's it. That's actually the game. Okay, so we're going to press and hold. We're going to scrape. I'm going to push the down on the D-pad to go to input, because it's not going to find this code word. Okay, this was Mario Party. Push the down arrow, bring yourself over to this, let it search for that. One thing I've noticed about these higher up systems, the Wii U, the Wii, PlayStation 2, Xbox, PlayStation 3, even some of the GameCube ones, they don't always scrape. Sometimes you got to do it the old-fashioned way. So here we are. We got lucky on this one. Mario Party 10. I found it. So I just hit A. And it's going to put this stuff in there. There we go. Okay. Now you can launch it. Here we go. And like all good mechanics, whether you're working with technology, software, or fixing a car, you have to say, well, fire it up, let's see what happens, because that's exactly what we're dealing with right here. Now, the one thing we did not do is set up a controller profile, so we don't know which one's going to work with this. We don't know if the game's going to load based on my current hardware, how it's configured, any of this stuff. Okay, so right now I probably don't have any controls working. No, I don't. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. So I'm just going to hit escape. But the game, oops, we'll hit Alt F4 to back out of this. And then Alt F4 again usually is going to do it. Okay, so now we know the game actually loads. We're going to hit F1 again, okay? And again, this is kind of a pain, but hey, you got to do a little bit of work. Go to applications. We're going to load this one up again. Okay. Now, every single game you have to set your controller style. Okay. Now, there's two ways to play these Wii U games, with a Pro controller or the gamepad. The gamepad you can think of you actually holding the whole portable deck in your hands. That's the gamepad. Okay. So let's find this game, Mario Party 10. Okay, you right click and you go edit the game profile. Okay, now it brings you into this. We're going to go to the graphics API, use Vulkan, controller. So now I've preset two different controller styles. Okay, let's just try this as a Pro controller. Let's see what happens. So once you've done this, there's no exit or no way to back out of this. So once you've done this, you just hit Alt F4 and it backs you out, and now I can exit out of this and we're going to relaunch the game. Okay, so let's take us over to here, Mario Party 10. If we got lucky, we don't have to go back in and change it to gamepad. Okay, in a second I'm going to show you how you set those two profiles up. And on the Discord, I've posted a link to the two controller profiles, but everybody's going to be using a different controller, so I recommend that you set it up on your own and label them the way that I labeled them, or some fashion similar. That way you know what you're selecting when you're selecting it. But once you've done this, okay, you don't ever have to do it again. So see on the upper left says Xbox style Pro controller. So now I'm going to see if I can move it around. Nope, I got no controls. So it obviously does not like the Pro controller. So we're going to hit Alt F4 and we're going to back out of this thing and we're going to change it to the other profile. And then I think we're going to be in business. So hit escape, F1, applications, do this thing again. And this takes a minute, to do every single one. But then once you're done, you're done. And it's necessary. It's one of those things. Edit game profile, controller. We're going to do a gamepad. Boom. Alt F4. Do this. Do this. Load that game. And with any luck, the game won't hate us for doing this. Now again, based on everybody's hardware configuration and all that, you might get only a white screen. Maybe your game won't even load. Maybe you're using a system that doesn't use Ryzen. Maybe you've got an Intel chipset and the graphics drivers are argumentative for what the game wants. So um, you got to just experiment a little bit. See, now my controller's working. So once you're there, you're good. And that's really all that you have to do for setup on that. Okay. So now if I hit select and start, I can back out and that game is actually ready to rock. Okay. I don't have to do anything other than play the game now. Okay. Now let's talk about how to set that controller up. So to do that, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit F1, get us into the file browser. We're going to go to applications, launch the emulator. Now here's the thing. For those of you that are sitting on a stockpile of these Wii U games, can you imagine dumping 150 games on this thing and configuring all this stuff? It takes so long to do. And here's the best part. Not all these games are playable from start to finish. So definitely before you start adding games, check the compatibility lists. Make sure at least the game doesn't have any game breaking glitches or things like that would prevent you from finishing the game if you really got yourself far into it. Okay, so all of the titles that I have on this build have passed the sniff test, so to speak. So, all right. Couple things let's just talk about generally speaking. The first thing I want to talk about is graphics packs. So let's go down to probably the first game everybody's going to want to play is the Breath of the Wild, right? If you play this game without changing the graphics packs, what happens is the game will start to run in an infinite frame rate and it runs super bad. Okay, so that's why these graphics packs are out there. So tools, let me show you. There's where is it? Graphics packs, right? So these are all the graphics packs that I've installed. Okay, and it's only going to populate the graphics packs based on the content you have done. So at any time you can download the latest packs. There's no updates available, so we're cool there. So let's take a look at this Breath of the Wild, for example, right? Expand that. So you have cheats. So see how I've got durability checked on mine? I'm sick and tired of weapons breaking every 5 enemies, so I've corrected all that. And when you click on them, it'll tell you what's going on here. Now I've went to unbreakable, but there's different levels to that, right? Infinite stamina. I was tired of climbing a mountain and falling off because I was almost there. Anyways, yeah, I'm old. I don't want to grind it out. Okay. Mods. Frames per second. This one is a must do. Okay, so you click on this, you click on advanced settings, and then hard set your frame limit. So I've set mine for 40 frames. On this particular system that I have, I could actually set it for 60, but 40 is fine. I kind of like more of a theatrical, like a movie sort of frame rate. Anyways, whatever. You want to lock this thing between 30 and 40 or 60. Okay, that way it doesn't have a runaway effect and end up crashing. So this one is a must for this game, and you can read about that stuff. So any one of these games, just start looking. Look for the workarounds for the system that you're using and for the game that you're playing. Okay, so you want to look at that stuff. Now this game, Mario Party 10, we just installed, might have something. So let's take a look. Go to graphics, resolution. What is this here? Changes the resolution of the game. Missing videos and mini game screen is currently a CEMU hook issue. Whatever. I don't really plan on playing this game probably ever, but that's where you would dial things in further. So let's back up out of this one. Now this one does give you a exit out button right there. But now let's talk about controllers. Okay, and we're gonna go input settings right here. Input settings, boom. Controller 1. Profile name. Now these are the two that I have saved. Okay, so now I put Xbox style because that's the style of controller I'm playing with. Now if I had connected a PlayStation style controller, I would do this again, and there's no limit to the amount of profiles that you can save in here. So the way that I've named this convention is it's Xbox style, which tells me what controller I'm actually holding in my hand, followed by what style I am, I guess, emulating, right? Whether it's a Pro controller or Wii U gamepad. So if I was to make a new one, I could name it here. So let's say I could call this PS4 style to, Pro controller, right? And then, so this is where you name it, okay? This is where you're going to tell it what you're actually emulating. Look at all the different ones you could do. So you could do one for every single one, okay? So let's say because we're going to do a Pro controller, we're going to call this Pro controller. So now it's going to bring us to this, okay? So here's where you're going to go controller right here, and it's going to open this up, and then you go here, and then you do it again, and you're going to go direct input, okay? And direct input is where you're at, and then you're going to tell it what. Now it's automatically detected the controller that's connected to BATOCERA and CEMU, okay? So it knows you're not going to, I can't set this up for a controller that I don't have. So you click it and you go add, okay? Now that's in there, so now I can just get off of that. Cool. So now that's that. So now you're going to go to calibrate, okay? Actually, I always go clear, then calibrate, and now here you are, and you're just going to press your buttons. B. Now once you get to this one right here, I found that you got to clear that out, calibrate it, and now you can do it. A, B, X, Y, blah blah blah, and you're going to work your way all the way through that. And then when you're done, you're going to save it, okay? Now I'm not going to save this because I've already done my setup on this, okay? But that's where you're going to do it. And once it's saved, when you go on a particular game and you right click and you go to, you can either edit your graphics packs or your game profile, and now I can select, see how I've already have it selected here? That's the kind of controller that I'm playing with for this game. And there you have it. And you can do that there, okay? And so in this case, if I was going to play this game, and I've changed the game profile, and I go to controller, if I had saved that game controller profile that we were just doing, it'll show up in the drop down menu, boom, piece of cake. Okay, so that's got to be done for every single game, but once you do it, you're rocking and life is good. And then remember, from this screen, Alt F4 gets you out, and then Control Exit. Okay, and that is how you do Wii U. If you're adding a bunch of games to Wii U, do them one at a time. Stay organized about it. So hold on, we're not done here, so check it out. We're going to hit F1. Remember how I said that once you've installed onto your Wii U the updates and all that stuff, you no longer need this party because it's kind of like an automated copy and paste. So all the stuff that's in these folders, it files it to where it needs to be in its own spot. So right here, I can just go shift and delete. This is important because if you don't hit shift and delete, it'll delete it, okay? It will delete it to the trash can, or if you've unchecked that feature, like I think I have on this one, it still hangs on to it. It puts it in a different, just trust me, just hit shift, delete, boom. Yes, I want to permanently delete this. Boom, it's gone. The game will still run. It functions perfect. Look at me go. So that's what you want to do, okay, for Wii U. It's no more complicated than that. Um, it does take a little bit of mucking around, but it's not rocket science. It's a little confusing at first if you've never done this before, but hey, we all start somewhere. If I can do it, you can do it. There's a ton of really awesome YouTube videos out there. Definitely take a look at BATOCERA Nation. That guy single-handedly got me excited enough that I would try a BATOCERA project, and so that's what we've got going on now. And I don't think I'm gonna look back. I think BATOCERA is where I'm gonna stay. I think it's an awesome thing going. RetroPie is where I started off, and but yeah, Batocera Nation. He literally has a video for every single emulator on this build. Okay, so do yourself a favor, watch his stuff, uh, watch my stuff, hang out in the Discord for Schmoomers. You're gonna learn a lot. You get a lot of first-hand help. So we're all in it to win it. And happy gaming, guys. See you later. Bye.